Thank you for coming to see me in my cave, sire. It's my pleasure, dragon. How might I aid you? Well, I wanted to discuss with you a few matters concerning the realm. Very well. But first, might I interest you in a tasty beverage? Why, yes, of course. That would be most delightful. Excellent. I think I have your favorite here. Let me just put a kettle on. How do you take your royal tea? Milk and sugar, if you would. Did you hear what I said? Your royal tea. Yes, I'm sure it's the finest in all the realm. Milk and sugar, please. Very well. I just thought what? I thought you enjoyed a good pun, that's all. It took me all morning to come up with that one. Well, truth be told, I don't much care for that sort of humor. It's cheap. I see. Well, I apologize. Can we get this conversation over with? It's starting to drag on.
The Visitor. The cave halfway up the mountain had served the old man well for a long time. He was shielded from the elements and yet had access to the beauty of nature in each season, none of which were overly harsh in this temperate zone. In addition, his basic needs were met by the seekers who came for his wisdom. They would bring him food and supplies in exchange for answering their questions. And since his reputation was widespread, there was a fairly steady stream of them. Then, one day, a visitor, unlike the others, appeared at his cave. He acknowledged the old man with a bow, which the old man returned. The visitor spoke.
You have been the answerer of questions for many years. Now it is time for you to be the one who asks the questions.
The old man was surprised, yet intrigued.
May I ask who you are?
That's one,
Said the visitor.
What's going on here?
Said the old man.
That is two,
Said the visitor.
Is this some kind of joke?
Said the old man.
and that is three.
Said the visitor, who then bowed and started walking back down the mountain.
Very funny!
Shouted the old man as the visitor disappeared from sight.
Seriously, that was so amusing!
The next morning, the old man started looking around for a new cave.
It's Arminta Daly here. Today we're going to do a painting demo at my very own studio, the Little Red Caboose Studio, and I'm so glad you can make it. So come along, I'm going to show you my studio. Come on. Now, the first thing I tell everyone before they get started is to make sure your space is very neat and tidy. And so I've organized my space and tidied it up just for you guys, because it's important to have, you know, a sense of calm while you're being creative. So here it is. Isn't it wonderful? I love it here. I always feel so peaceful. So come on over to this corner of the room. It's where I have my easel set up, and my canvas and my paints, and it's really important to have everything you need on your table, like I do. I have everything all here and ready to roll. Sorry, it's okay. Anyway, it's good. Okay, so this is my palette, and I'm going to be using the primary colors. Now, I'm going to start with a little bit of blue. Squeeze a little blue out here. And then, of course, we're going to move on to some red. Love red. Such powerful color. And then, of course, we're going to go to yellow. So the primary colors are great. You can mix them and make any color you want. Okay? Now, let me get my brushes. Now, it's very important first, you want to do sort of a backwash. So I'm going to mix a little bit of blue with a little bit of red. And what do you think I get? Right, purple. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little wash here. Oh, I totally forgot. Oh my goodness. I didn't really clarify what we're doing. We're going to focus on landscapes today. Now, it's always best to go outside and paint from real life, but we're not going to do that today. So instead, I have a wonderful picture of a landscape. This is what we're going to work off of, this picture. See? Very popular. It's a very beautiful, popular landscape. So, I'm just going to put that right there. How could I forget? That was one of the most important things. Now, just do my little backwash purple. And you really want to make sure you're covering everything. You don't want a lot of white to show through. And you want a lot of texture. Very important. So now I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow with red. What do you get? Exactly, orange. So, just want to, because see how it really pops against that background? Yeah, and I want, this is sort of in the style of the masters, like a very realistic portrayal. I mean, you can really get expressive, but I want to be very realistic. So, so now I'm going to mix a little bit of red with blue again. I'm going to come up. Isn't that wonderful? I love that color, don't you? Now we're almost finished. It's kind of a quick one, but I wanted to really show you. It's really good to get the technique down first. So I just want to get my edges. There. There you go. Let me just add a little highlight just to make it. Those are the highlights. And a little bit of shadowing under here. Make it pop. Okay. There you go. So I hope you've been following along, and be sure to tune in for my next video. We'll be doing still life. Thanks again. Arminta Daly signing off, Little Red Caboose Studio. Bye, everyone.
Dear March, come in. How glad I am. I hoped for you before.
Finally out of the vaults for the first time ever. The classic story from 1993 that had an extremely limited run in theaters for being too pretentious. A story about a woman who dared to dream, who dared to be different. A woman who would one day be a household name, though she barely left her household. Winona Ryder is Emily Dickinson. Watch as Emily writes, and reads, and writes, and reads, and walks, and reads, and writes some more, and reads again. See Winona Ryder kind of bring this larger-than-life woman to life in a subpar film with a subpar performance, complete with her angry underbite stare, her trembly lip, that thing of when her eyes get super big, and of course, over-articulated yet shaky and concerned narration.
Put down your hat. You must have walked. How out of breath you are.
Winona Ryder is Emily Dickinson. Sorta. The Washington Post wrote, "This is classic Winona Ryder," meaning her eyes are super big and she writes all the time, which is a choice, I guess. The Chicago Tribune quipped, "They don't really touch upon her family that much, or any actual facts. We just see her walking through the woods barefoot, like a lot. I mean, didn't she isolate herself in her home?" And the New York Times sighed, "It got so Winona Ryder-y that I thought her eyes were going to eat me." See the re-release of a movie you probably don't need to see, but we're going to overdo promoting this thing the way Winona Ryder overdoes her R's.
I hope one day they know my story. One day they'll know the truth about me. One day. One day.
Winona Ryder is Winona Ryder.
Dear March, how are you and the rest? Did you leave nature well? Oh, March, come right upstairs with me. I have so much to tell.
Streaming now, but you have to pay for it.
Hello, Dragon.
Hey there, unicorn.
Say, what do you call a dragon that loves to read?
I'm not doing that. No more puns.
Oh. What? Are you absolutely sure? Because...
No. The king ruined the fun of all of that. He's just the worst.
Yes. Yes, I suppose he is. Well, what else is there to do, really?
Heck if I know. The writer seems to know only one gag. A one-trick pony, as it were.
Hey, careful.
Sorry.
Hold on. Get up here. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry for all of this. And you, my dear audience, I apologize profusely for all of this nonsense. I can do better. I will do better. And guys, unicorn, dragon, next episode, it'll be much funnier and much more clever. And I'll get your accents right. I promise. And I'll even let you write your own material. That's right, yeah. And just know that whatever happens, I'll always be there to give you a hand.